What is up, everybody? My name is Harry Rice. Welcome back to the channel today. It's a brand new video, as you can tell. We are in between Montreal Canadiens games as of right now. It's between the last two preseason games. However, today we're not here to talk hockey. We are here to talk films. Once again, for the third straight month, it is 365 days, 365 movies. This is for September of 2024. If you guys don't know my general rules, check out the first two videos. Yeah, you'll get the rules. Very basic. Throughout the 365 days from my 22nd birthday to my 23rd, I want to watch one movie, what the equivalent to be a movie a day. I want to watch 365 movies over 365 days. We'll see how that works out for me. Alright, so for September, I'll admit, not a lot of days, but there was a handful of days where didn't end up watching anything. October will not be that. I will guarantee you guys that right away. We are aiming for at least movie a day because it's Halloween, it's the spoopy season. So when I do this, ironically for November, recounting October, expect vast majority horror films. If not every single one we watch will be a horror film this month, more than likely. But for September, let's get into it. A lot of recent films, some old stuff in there, but a lot of what we watched was from the past year, 2 years, maybe 4 years. A lot of recent stuff. And we start off hot, because the first thing we watched was Adam Sandler Love You, the new stand-up special of Adam Sandler's that was released on Netflix. Personally, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really, really fun idea of what if Adam Sandler were washed up and he didn't have the big Netflix deal, basically, and he didn't have the millions or whatever, and he had to go back to stand-up. And what if they picked the shittiest venue possible to run the show in? I thought that was pretty funny. The overall stand-up special, even if it's not up to quality with other stand-up comedians, I'm going to love it because I'm a huge Adam Sandler guy. I love Adam Sandler. I love a majority of his films that I've seen so far. Still got to watch stuff like Waterboy and that basketball movie he did, I think, last year. Still got to watch that stuff. But Adam Sandler Love You I thought was funny. I thought it was very, very, very enjoyable. I'll admit at the end, the whole tribute to comedy very much felt like a rehash of the Chris Farley song that he had at the end of his last special, which was really, really good. The comedy one, it was still fun. It was still enjoyable. But it felt like it was very much trying to recapture the magic that Chris Farley song had. It went mega viral. And, yeah. But I don't think it does. I think it's still decent. Adam Sandler playing the guitar is always going to be fun to me. And him singing. He sings a lot in this special. He does a lot of songs. It's very much like his last stand-up special. Just instead of the basically a compilation of every venue that he played at for the last tour, just, spliced together. This is just the one venue, but it's still a lot of songs. Stuff does go wrong. It's very, very fun. And yeah, Adam Sandler Love You. Really enjoyed this one. We watched that on the 2nd of September. So the first I did skip out. I apologize. But yeah. Then on the 3rd, and oh boy, we technically stuck with the Adam Sandler theme. We went with Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo. Why did we watch this? Well, I don't want to say why, because I would be spoiling something that happens in Adam Sandler Love You. But, you know what? Fuck it. If you guys don't want spoilers for Adam Sandler Love You, firstly, pause the video, go watch the special, then come back, or just mute the video. I'll do this when it's safe to come back. So, yeah, I'll give you guys a couple seconds to mute. Alright, so in Adam Sandler Love You, Rob Schneider has a cameo. Rob Schneider appears in it. And I have no goddamn idea why, but he shows up, he does an Elvis impression, a damn good one, dare I say it. Much better than anything we got in that garbage that was the Elvis biopic from earlier this year. Yeah, genuinely, Rob Schneider, really good Elvis impersonator. He had the moves down even as well. He was really solid, I thought. And they made a little joke about it. They had him sit in the stands after. It was fun, but after that, I was like, hey, you know what? Let's watch Deuce Bigalow. It'd be really funny. So, that's why we ended up watching Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo. You know what? It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. It wasn't as bad as I remembered, because I had seen this when I was a kid. I was like 9, 10 years old and I watched this. It's not horrible. It's kind of just generic late 90s, early 2000s comedy. Basically, the plot of this is that Deuce Bigalow is a fishy salesman. He's a fishy He's a guy who deals with a lot of fishies. And I will never call them fish again. Since I've seen that Team Fortress 2 video with the dude, with the fucking mob boss who sounds like a little kid. You're gonna be sleeping with the fishies. I've always called them fishies since then. It's very funny. But yeah, he's an aquarian dude. I don't know the exact name for him, but he helps people with their fishes and whatever and different aquatic animals. And he ends up needing money to repair a guy that he's house sitting for, who's a gigolo. And he ends up getting into the business himself to try and pay off the damage that he causes to the house. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't horrible, like I said. I mean, firstly, I actually think Rob Schneider was miscast in terms of he's not horrible looking. He's not great looking, but he's kind of whatever. He's not ugly. He's not fat. He's not really something that would really cause someone to be like, yeah, I don't want to go out with that guy, you know? I felt that Rob Schneider was miscast in that way. In terms of the comedy, he fit it very well. He fit right in with the comedy aspect of things. But in terms of the actual look and if you're going for realism, I should say, it doesn't work with Rob Schneider. But I thought he was alright in this. I thought Adam Sandler's voice cameo was great. Norm Macdonald is hilarious as always in this. He has one scene. He's great in this. Yeah, Male Gigolo was alright. I didn't hate it. It was kind of alright. Whatever. And next, on the 4th, because we watched that on the 3rd, on the 4th, we watched the only movie that I owned on DVD this month. A lot of what I watched was on digital, on streaming, so expect a lot of posters to be showing up. October, I know so far we're 1 for 1 on movies that I own. But, yeah. And also, ignore... by the way, I will say, the stuff up here, these are the horror films that I own that we plan on watching this month. Don't dive too deeply into them. We might not, we might. And then this is stuff that I'm looking to sell. So that's why that's here. I'm categorizing it also, yeah. I know people are going to be asking, potentially, so I figured I'd answer it. But on the 4th, we ended up watching Deuce Bigalow, European Gigolo. Now, of course, this is the sequel to Male Gigolo. This is the Assume the Position DVD, which actually has a couple decent features, or a decent amount of features. It has like 5 featurettes. It's got deleted scenes and infomercials. It's a decent amount of extras for a 1-disc set, I guess. But yeah, so Rob Schneider, of course, is back with Eddie Griffin, and they bring back some of the old characters from the first movie. But basically, Deuce is in Europe because Eddie Griffin is accused of murdering other gigolos, and he has to try and find who the real killer is. That's basically the plot of this film. He meets a girl who he thinks is a porn star and falls in love with her. It's not good. I thought the first one was decent, and I actually grew an appreciation for it after watching this one, because holy fucking shit, this was one of the worst comedies that I've seen. It's not even like it was offensively bad. No, it just wasn't funny, which is arguably worse than being offensively bad in my opinion. I think the worst thing that a film can be is boring. This film bordered on boring, but it was just that, okay, well, where's this going? Where's it going? And it hits you with something where it's like, okay, I didn't see that coming. And it keeps being boring until it hits you with the next thing that you don't see coming. And yeah, it's not funny. There is one funny scene, I will say. And of course, it's Norm Macdonald. Norm Macdonald has a cameo in this one again. And he's fucking hilarious. I love Norm Macdonald. Who doesn't love Norm Macdonald? He has a scene as McManus, and he has an Irish accent, or Scottish. He has a Scottish accent, I think. And he's fucking hilarious. He has the one scene, and yeah, he's trying to protect the man-hires. And yeah, European Gigolo has the one funny scene from Norm Macdonald. I'd argue it's worth it just for that. But the film, yeah, it kind of sucks. I'm gonna pick that up because I don't like hurting my DVDs. So European Gigolo, yeah. All right, and then on the 4th, after my best friend went to sleep, I ended up watching something. I watched the first 6 episodes, and I think there's 10 or 8. I forget how many episodes there are of this. But I ended up watching Sports Show with Norm Macdonald. This is a series from 2011. I'm pretty sure the pick is a little bit more recent. I think it's from probably like 2015, if I had to guess, 2016. Might be before the show, actually. I don't know. But, Yeah, I watched Sports Show with Norm Macdonald, and it was pretty funny, actually. Again, I watched the first 6 episodes. I haven't gotten around to finishing it yet. I probably could have in one of the days that I had open. I just didn't think of it, honestly. But it was funny. It's basically a Comedy Central show. It's a sports show, where Norm just jokes with about sports headlines, and he does little segments. There's one where I don't think it's Blake Griffith, but he goes and pretends to be an NBA player, and then it's a switcheroo. It's actually kind of funny. Norm's very good at this. Yeah, it was a funny show. I mean, I can't really talk too much about it. I don't want to, because I do want people to go out and watch it. It was very underrated. It's a very, very fun show. So yeah, seek it out. It's on the Internet Archive, I believe. It's on archive.org, I believe. Again, I forgot if it's 8, 10, 12 episodes, but yeah. Unfortunately, didn't get renewed. It hit big at test audiences, but actual people, I think, thought that it was like a legit sports show and didn't want to check it out. And the people that did really liked it. I really liked it. Surprisingly, as far as I've seen, no OJ jokes in the first 6 episodes. No OJ jokes from Norm, which is funny. That is something I should say. It's very Weekend Updatey. From Norm's time at SNL, when he did the Weekend Updates, it's very much in that style. If you want to watch 30 minutes of, or 24 minutes, because commercials, 24 minutes of Weekend Update that doesn't really get old, this show is for you. This is a really, really funny show. Again, it's like Norm's Weekend Updates, just more fitting of a sports show. It's very much a parody of a sports show that you can enjoy as a sports show, but you can also see the satirization of it. I love at the end, he has a segment called Garbage Time, where the last minute 30, which is referred to as garbage time in sports, he just rambles off quick headlines, and if that buzzer hits while he's in the middle of a joke, he doesn't finish it. If he's he's in the middle at the start of a joke, or he's about to give the punchline, doesn't go through with it. He doesn't time ran out, but I'm still saying the joke. No, he doesn't go through with it, which I think is absolutely hilarious. So, Sports Show with Norm Macdonald, I ended up watching that one. Really, really funny. Probably might finish it during this month. Maybe I'll wait till next month, just so it's all horror in October. But we'll see. So yeah, there's that Sports Show with Norm Macdonald. And then on the 5th, me and my best friend ended up watching 2 movies. The first one we watched was not Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo again. It didn't go through. We watched Trap, which, how the hell do I even talk about this movie? It's a movie from 2024. This movie is so goddamn insane and so crazy, but it's so fucking hilarious. It's a movie that stars Josh Hartnett as he's a guy who takes his daughter to a concert, who's played by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, the person who's having the concert, not his daughter. But takes his daughter to this concert, and he finds out in the funniest way possible that it's actually a trap set by the police. I think the show was originally happening anyways, but they made it into a trap. I forget, something like that. But they set it up to be a trap because they found out that there's this serial killer who's going to be there. Like it says on the poster, 30,000 fans, 300 cops, 1 serial killer, no escape. And so yeah, there's a serial killer who's in the arena, and the police are trying to catch him. Little do they know, it's Josh Hartnett's character, and that's revealed like 25 minutes in. It's not really that big of a twist. But, yeah, and so basically, I don't want to spoil what happens, because there's something halfway through the film where it's like, okay, we're doing this now, aren't we? But, yeah, so it's basically about Josh Hartnett's character trying to escape with his daughter and trying to not be caught as the killer, and it's fucking hilarious. It is an unintended... I'm starting to wonder about M. Night, because we watched Old a couple months ago, me and my best friend. We watched Old. By the way, still have never seen The Sixth Sense, which I think is hilarious. Maybe we'll watch that this month. I don't know if it qualifies as horror or more thriller or suspense. Supernatural, definitely. Spoilers. But, yeah, we watched Old a couple months ago. And this was, like, I think just in theaters. And because of Old and this movie, I'm really starting to wonder, is M. Night doing it on purpose? M. Night has to be aware of how hilariously dumb his films are. Signs is laughably over the top. For the time, laughably bad for sure now. The Happening, holy shit. Last Airbender is garbage. I'm tempted to put Devil in that category, but I think he was just a producer on that. I don't think he directed that. Old is laughably horrible, aside from Alex Wolff's pretty decent performance, actually. But Old was hilariously bad. This is hilariously great. It's a movie that you can laugh at, and I just sat back and I just enjoyed it, and I laughed my ass off during it. Yeah, this is just a film that I really don't want to speak much on, aside from if you enjoy laughing at movies, Trap is a film for you. It's hilarious. Yeah, Trap. It's a film. And then that night we decided, hey, you know what? Let's actually watch another M. Night movie, because I forgot that this one was also done by M. Night, and that is Knock at the Wood. Knock at the Cabin. Sorry, Knock at the Woods. I don't know what I'm talking about. Dollar in the Woods. Knock at the Cabin is a movie by M. Night Shyamalan starring Dave Bautista. It's the main reason I want to watch it. Love Dave Bautista, of course, former wrestler. He's an actor now. Gained a lot of weight. I think he went up to, I think he said 315 pounds, and now he's really skinny. It doesn't look good. But yeah, this is a movie about a gay couple with their young daughter, who are in a cabin, and they're interrupted by these four, I don't want to say vigilantes, these four disciples who believe that the world is about to come to an end, and they want to, they say that it's up to the gay couple to decide if only they live, or if they sacrifice one of them for the rest of the world to live. The movie sounds really interesting. It was kind of boring, honestly. I love Dave Bautista. He's great in this. He's genuinely a really, really good actor when he's in a comedy and not in the MCU. Actually, I can't even say that, because he was pretty fun as Drax. I liked him as Drax, but he was the one highlight of the MCU. But he's really good in this. Ronald Weasley is in this for a bit, and he's kind of fun. I thought he was all right in this. But the movie really fails at making you understand our main characters. Because of course there's the one who instinctively wants to believe and, doesn't want to sacrifice, but he wants to believe that these people are genuine. And of course there's the other guy who's on the other side. He's a cynic. He's almost kind of an atheist, but he's not quite that level of asshole, though he does kind of get there. But he's that guy. He doesn't believe. He thinks they just want to kill. He just wants to watch one of them die because they're masochists or whatever. And there's stuff on the TV that slowly starts happening, natural disasters, and somehow he still doesn't believe him after each one. But yeah, it's not that good of a movie, unfortunately. It was. There were some bits where it was kind of fun, but aside from Dave Bautista's performance, it's really not worth watching, unfortunately. It's a film that I thought just really disappointed me. For a film like this, I think if it's handled by a good director, it could be really, really good. It could be really interesting. I think it could be really entertaining. But under a guy like M. Night, because it doesn't really have one of his signature, last-second plot twists where, oh my god, one of the gay guys was in on it, the guy who was an asshole is in on it. It doesn't really have one of his twists. It's really just play it straight and just, it almost feels like old M. Night. Like, it seemingly that Sixth Sense, Unbreakable era where he made those two good movies. The Village is another one I should say was laughably bad. I forgot about The Village, but yeah, I can't comment on Lady in the Water because I haven't seen that one. But it's very reminiscent of old Shyamalan in that it's kind of played straight. I know Sixth Sense and Unbreakable still have those twists, but And Knock at the Cabin does sort of, but it's not an over-the-top twist like you'd expect. It's one that you can kind of see coming, can really see coming, honestly. But yeah, Knock at the Cabin, not a good movie. And again, unless you're a big fan of Dave Bautista like I am, and you want to support him, I don't recommend it, unfortunately. Then on the 6th, we watched Kinds of Kindness, and of course, I had to use this poster of Hunter Schafer. Love Hunter Schafer. Yeah, this is the film. It's an anthology film, really, starring Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone. It's pretty good, actually. I went into this after we had watched Poor Things last month. After we had watched Poor Things, well, I can't say last month, 2 months ago now technically, but you know what I mean. When we watched it in August, I wasn't 100% sure. I wasn't 100% sure about this movie. I was still hopeful for it. My best friend was definitely much more hesitant because Poor Things was such a letdown, and it's the same director as Poor Things who did this. She was a little bit hesitant. However, I kind of convinced her, like, hey, look, let's at least give it a chance. If it's not good in the first like half hour, we can shut it off and watch something else, you know. So we did, and we didn't shut it off. We wanted it to keep going and wanted this movie not to end. We really enjoyed it. So it's an anthology trilogy. Again, it stars Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons. Really interesting idea where it recycles a lot of the actors in the different segments. The only one, unfortunately, that doesn't get reused, as far as I can recall, is Hunter Schafer. She's only in the one. However, the one she's in is very much worth it. It's very much worth the price of admission alone, in my honest, humble opinion. Willem Dafoe's in this. Margaret Crowley, she's not bad in this. I thought she was alright. I thought she was really, really bad. Laughably black? No, God, that's not what I'm saying. She did not do blackface in Poor Things. She was laughably bad in Poor Things. But in this, she was alright, I thought. So, like I said, it's an anthology film. It's basically, without spoiling too much, because I feel like the more you reveal about this film, the more you reveal about this film before you watch it, I feel like it doesn't make the film worse, but it definitely hinders how much you want to, how much investment I think there is. But it's 3 segments, and I'll just list them. I'll just list the names. So the first one is The Death of RMF. The second one is RMF is Flying. And the third one is RMF Eats a Sandwich. So, yeah. The first one basically is that RMF, who's played by Jesse Plemons in all 3 of these segments, technically, well, actually, he's not the same character in all 3, but he's in all 3. Him and Emma Stone, I think, are the only recurring characters in all 3, I believe. You know, no, fuck it. I'm not even gonna give any plot details. If you guys want to watch this movie, go check it out. It's an absurdist anthology film. I'm a big fan of it. I thought it was incredible. Highly recommend it. It's incredible. And I'll say this: Jesse Plemons is great. Emma Stone gets railed at one point. Did I call her Emma Stones? Emma Stone gets railed at one point with Margaret Crowley. And Hunter Schafer shows her titties. I don't know. If you're not sold on this movie, I don't know what else I gotta say. But go check out this movie. Genuinely really, really good film. And I don't think I will, if I were to do like a ranking all films from 2024 that I saw, or a top 10 of 2024, Kinds of Kindness would definitely be near the top. Right now, I'm thinking it probably, yeah, it's definitely at the top. It's like top 3, if not top 5 for sure. But it's one of the better films I've seen in 2024. I can't say one of the better, because a lot of the films I've seen that are from this year are pretty good. But, or at least good, I would say. It's a much better year than last year, that's for sure. But, yeah, Kinds of Kindness, quite a good film. And then shifting right over, that night we then followed up with a SpongeBob. Yes, that's true. So we watched 2 episodes. The first one we watched was Krusty Towers, where Mr. Krabs turns the Krusty Krab into a hotel called Krusty Towers. It's a decent episode. Not one of my favorites, but it's alright. It's one of the better season 4 episodes, I feel like. And then we watched Krusty Krab, the Krusty Krab training video, which of course is one of the all-time best episodes. One of the funniest episodes in the series. Absolutely love that one. As you guys can see, I have the first 100 episodes of SpongeBob right here. One of my favorite episodes is Krusty Krab training video. I just like the fact that I actually own the first 100 episodes. I've been looking for this thing since it first came out in like 2010, 2009, somewhere around there. I've been looking for it ever since, and I finally found it this year, so hell yeah. But yeah, 2 episodes of SpongeBob, quite a good way. And then I kind of slacked. I went 3 days without watching a film. Why? I want to watch movies with my best friend. That's how I love doing it. I love watching movies with my best friend. It's only really stuff like Terrifier and maybe rewatching stuff like Sleepover, where it's like, okay, well, we already watched this. I can watch this on my own. Or with Terrifier, she's not interested in this. I'll watch it myself. So, yeah, and there's not really many films that I can think of right now where it's like, she doesn't want to watch them, but I do, you know? A lot of the time it's like stuff she wants to watch, but maybe I'm not interested in it. Weirdly enough, it's, but yeah. So then next up on the 10th, and it's a film that we shouldn't have watched. We both regret this. Alien 3. This is the one highlight of the film. Alright, then on the 11th, no. Yeah. What the fuck do I say about Alien 3? This is bad. This is really bad. It's got the one good scene here where the alien with Sigourney Weaver's face, it's like the one scene from this movie that gets used in those Fox highlight reels where it's like, hey, these are some of our biggest moments, and it's this and Alvin and the Chipmunks, basically. Now, instead of Alien vs. Predator, if you did Alien vs. Alvin, that's an idea for you, Fox. But yeah, Alien 3. This is directed by David Fincher, and in his directorial debut, how he had a career after this, I don't know. And I say that as a massive David Fincher fan. And I understand studio interference, of course. There's the extended edition, which I'm not watching that. You can't save this fucking movie. But genuinely, like, I'm so glad that people did vouch for David Fincher, that, hey, he knows what he's doing. He can be a good director. Someone hire him. Because he followed this up with, I'm pretty sure, he fucking made 7 right after this. So he went from, like, one of the worst films of the 90s, a fucking boring disaster, to one of the best films of the decade. One of my favorite films of all time. And then he did Fight Club, and he did Zodiac after that as well. A decade after Fight Club, I think. But, like, he's done some damn good stuff. So the fact he started off so low and then went so high, and now it feels like he's slowly kind of calming down, is insane. But Alien 3, I didn't really like this. Yeah, an Alien, great movie. Aliens, pretty good movie. I talked about those, I think, last month. But Alien 3 is not good. I don't even want to talk about this one anymore. So yeah, then we watched, we watched Paranormal Activity 4. My best friend wanted to do a Catherine Newton night because I think it was her birthday. We watched this one on 9/11. And yeah, so she picked a movie, I picked one. I ended up picking one of her first films she did, Paranormal Activity 4. Why the fourth one? Fuck you, that's why. No, it's really the first one that I haven't seen. And you know what? I'll mention it here because I'm not going to wait for the DVD collection video, because why would I? But I now own, actually, the first 3 Paranormal Activities, so I can actually do it. Oh, can I get it? Like, can I get it? So I've got 1, 2, 3. Come on. No, turn this way. 1, 2, 3, and then I've watched 4. So yeah, I've owned 3 for the longest time. Picked one up earlier this year, and I found 2 like a month ago. Not even. So I'm nice instead of just having 3 or 3 in 1. 3 in 1. Fuck me! I've now got the first 3. So I need to get 4, 5, 6. And I think there's a reboot coming out or something like that. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll watch the first 3. I don't think so, because they're kind of boring from what I've heard. But the fourth one was... admittedly, could have picked a much better film than this, especially considering what we watched after this for my best friend's movie that she picked for Catherine Newton. So Catherine Newton does star in this one. It's another Paranormal Activity film. It's Catherine Newton and her brother, I think, and her family live in this house, and someone moves in next door. They got a creepy little kid. The kid keeps coming over to play with the little brother, and it's Toby from the previous films. At least that's what I understood, is that it's Toby from the previous films. And paranormal spooky shit happens with the Xbox Kinect. That's basically the film. Yeah, not a great Paranormal Activity movie. Really not a great movie in general. Kind of boring. Yeah, there was one cool part where Catherine Newton's sleeping, and the ghost like levitates her, and it's all done in one shot, obviously because it's found footage. But it's like it's lifting her up, and like you can't really see how they're doing it. It's kind of cool. And then the ghost disappears. She flops back down. Like that was kind of cool. That I kind of like that effect. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, not really. It's kind of boring, honestly, unfortunately. And all the activity has led to this. Like, the fuck do you mean? This is like the second movie chronologically. It's like the second movie. What do you mean? I don't know. But, yeah. So, Paranormal Activity 4 wasn't good. However, what was good was Abigail. This was a really, really fun movie. This was really, really fun to watch. I really enjoyed Abigail. This movie is about a group of kidnappers who kidnap this rich dude's daughter, and yeah, they hold her hostage for, I think it's like $60 million, $6 million, something like that. And it's revealed that the girl's a fucking vampire. And yeah, so from there it just kind of gets all fucking crazy. And yeah, it's got a lot of people in the movie. It's got Melissa Barella. She's in it from Scream. You know what? She was kind of hot in this, actually. I'll say she played that kind of, not goth, but emo-looking girl. She was fucking hot in that role. And then she was actually pretty good, too. I thought that this type of role fits her much better than what she plays in Scream. I think this recovering addict that she plays in that kind of panicky role, I think she's much better suited for that than just a straight leading lady. She's a leading girl in this movie, but she's still, like, decent. Dan Stevens, who we'd watched in another movie this month, wasn't great. Catherine Noon, of course, is in this. She's very, very adorable. Kevin Durand, shout out from Thunder Bay, Ontario. He plays a French dude in this movie, and he is pretty fucking funny. Angus Cloud's in this, and you can tell he's only good in Euphoria. Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. Love him. Glad he's in this. And a shout out to, and I'm going to butcher her name, I apologize, Alicia Weir, who is Abigail in this. She was really fun, you know. She played a role really well. When she first comes in, she's that cute, you know, oh, no, don't hurt me, whatever. It plays that little girl really well. And then when she becomes a vampire, she is just so vulgar, throwing out throwing out curse words. She does not throw out slurs. If she was doing that, this movie would be entirely different. But throwing out curse words and you know, she plays that menacing, still cute little girl vampire very, very well. She's very adorable in this role. And, you know, even as a vampire, I just want to go up and, oh, you're such a cute little girl. Pinch her cheeks, and she fucking bites my hand off, probably. Or no, she bites the neck, and then you become a vampire. But yeah, very, very fun movie. It was very entertaining. It kept me interested the whole way through. I'll admit, the first, like, 15 minutes are a little bit boring. They're a little boring because they have to establish the characters. But once they get to the house with the little girl and they're there, that's where it gets entertaining. It's a very, very fun movie. I highly recommend Abigail. There are a couple twists, so it's not as straight as you think where, okay, they just have to stay the night with this vampire and they get $6 million basically because of the, you know, they're blackmailing and they'll get in the morning or whatever, you know, but no, there's some twists in there, and yeah, Abigail, recommend. Very good movie, very fun. Hope Alicia Weir gets more roles because she was very solid in this one. So, props to Abigail. Very good movie. What wasn't very good and was actually very, very hilariously bad was The Voyeurs. This is a movie starring Sydney Sweeney. A very weird sounding Justice Smith. Yeah, this is an Amazon Prime movie, and honestly, had I known it was an Amazon Prime original, I thought this was a movie that went in theaters and it was just on Amazon. Probably wouldn't have watched it because I can't really think of any real good Amazon Prime originals, at least off the top of my head. Someone's probably going to comment a couple down in the comment section, but yeah, this movie, very basic plot. It's Rear Window, just not nearly as good. I mean, honestly, it's really just Rear Window. But the basic plot is that Justice Smith and Sydney Sweeney are in a relationship, which is really funny if you know that Justice Smith is gay. But they're in a relationship, and they move into this house. The gay actors playing straight characters? Oh, wow, who would have thought that could happen? No. But it's just funny. But god damn it. But yeah, so Sydney Sweeney and Justice Smith are in a relationship. They move into this place, and across the street, they get a good look at their neighbors and the dude played by Ben Hardy, who's the drummer from Queen in Bohemian Rhapsody. The dude who gets like next to no lines, next to no screen time. Yeah, that dude. Give him a role in this movie where he barely has any lines for the first half and he's barely on screen. Yeah. But yeah, so they get a look at the house across the street, or the apartment across the street, and this dude is a photographer, a model photographer, and he usually bangs his models, and yeah, they keep looking across the street. They're very interested in it, and it gets more intertwined. I'm so wanting to just go into this movie and talk about how bad it is for like 20 minutes, but I try not to spoil movies on this segment, especially because I do want to do a video on it in the future. I know I've said that before, but genuinely, I have a whole ass script written for the video. I would just need to go in, rewatch the movie, get screenshots, because I'm not showing full footage of this goddamn movie, because there's no way I could. There's no way that I'd be able to show full footage. A, copyright abuse, and B, a lot of nudity. A lot of nudity. I'd have to be very selective about what I show, so that's why I'm going to go screenshot route. But yeah, aside from Sydney Sweeney, who is not that great of an actor in this movie, half the time she's a decent actor, and this is the half of the time where she just isn't. But aside from the one scene that she does, come on, we've all seen it, not a good movie. It's really not that good. It's just really, really boring. And the way the film ends, the last half hour, is so laughably bad that, again, I need to talk about this in another video. So this is the rare instance where I'm not going to talk about it, not because I want you guys to watch the movie, but because I plan on reviewing it in the future. Sort of reviewing it, but yeah, The Voyeurs. All I'll say before I do the video is immensely missed potential. Immensely missed potential. So, The Voyeurs, let's move on. And then the 14th, we watched two things. Firstly, we watched Eddie Murphy Delirious. And I should say, we watched two things that I have on DVD. God damn it. Real quick, give me a second, boys. I was going to throw these games, and I elected not to. Don't look at what I'm holding. That's very rude if you do. But yeah, Eddie Murphy Delirious. We watched this. And why is that? And I just realized we watched another thing that's on my list. Give me a second, boyos. If I can get to it. Oh my god, I'm not going to be able to reach the semi. Nope, never mind, I can't. It's a matter if I can reach it. There we go. Alright, Alien 3 was in the Alien Quadrilogy. There we go. Eddie Murphy Delirious. We watched this one. This one's... I'm off my goddamn ball today. We watched another thing that was on my list. Give me a second, boyos. Oh my god, I'm remembering this mid-recording. Holy shit. We watched another thing that was on my list. Oh my god, I opted for all posters this time. Why? Why did I do that? I made it 8 times harder on myself. Why? Okay, I've got everything on my list that I believe we watched. Eddie Murphy Delirious. This is hilarious. This is a great stand-up special. I cannot recommend it enough. The opening bit is incredibly offensive, but it's absolutely hilarious as someone who is part what Eddie Murphy talks about, partly. Just an absolutely just a hilarious stand-up special. Cannot recommend it enough. Eddie Murphy Delirious is hilarious. Everybody's seeing Eddie Murphy Delirious. And if you haven't, go watch it. I'm not even going to talk about any of the jokes because everybody knows. This is a top 5, if not top 10 stand-up special of all time. Absolutely hilarious. And then next up we watched, because of course why wouldn't we? We followed that up with Eddie Murphy Raw. Yeah, hilarious stand-up special as well. Worse than Delirious, but that's like saying one Dave Chappelle special is worse than the other. It's like, they're all good. It's just a matter of which one is the least good. This one's still really funny. Wasn't as basically laugh per minute as Delirious was, but it was still really, really good. Really enjoyed Eddie Murphy Raw. Highly recommend it. And this and Delirious, if you can find Delirious, we had a really hard time finding Delirious on our services that we had, Netflix, stuff like that, Prime. And apparently the DVD of this is not rare, but it's hard to find. Raw, I found for like $2 back in the day. Raw is apparently much easier to find. At least I was wondering why Delirious was hard to find, and then I watched it and the opening happened, and I was like, okay, I get why this is not readily available, and it's very unfortunate that it isn't, because it's really, really funny. So yeah, please tell me. Okay, and then after Raw, we ended up watching, on the 16th, we watched Wise Guy, David Chase, and The Sopranos. This is a little mini, I guess 2-part docu-series is what it is. We watched this on the 16th. We watched both parts. We watched part 1, and then we took a little break to watch part 2 after. And it was pretty good, actually. I thought that it was actually really good. It does a really good job of showcasing David Chase's life in comparison to The Sopranos. It's one of those documentaries where you're worried that it's going to focus way too much on the person and not the show, which is what you come there to watch. But the first 10-15 minutes is really what you get out of David Chase's life, and the rest of it, when it does connect, it's really just, oh, we know David Chase's life, and it just kind of parallels. It shows locations and mentions that, oh, David Chase made these locations because he remembers blah 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 or whatever. I don't want to spoil too much, but very, very good docu-series. Definitely recommend it. It was pretty good. If you're a fan of The Sopranos, you've watched The Sopranos before, definitely recommend it. It's a very, very solid little docu-series. It takes 2 hours to watch. It's an hour an episode. And, it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. And, nothing else really to say. It was good. And the next up, I actually will keep the poster up for this one. And that is Alien Resurrection, which I also have in the Alien Quadrilogy set. That's why I'm keeping the poster up, because it's just the quadrilogy. But yeah. Alien Quadrilogy, the last film in the quadrilogy, Alien Resurrection, was also not good. This was a really, really bad movie. I would be hard-pressed to say this is worse than 3, just because Winona Ryder is in it, and I fucking love Winona Ryder. I love her anything she's in. Well, actually, that's not true, because I don't love Alien Resurrection. I fucking hate Alien Resurrection. It is really bad. Oh my god, I'm getting a call from my mom. 1 second, boys. Alright, I'm back. Sorry, I just had to take a call real quick, and, yeah. I don't know what I was talking about with Alien Resurrection, so I'm just gonna say, I'd be hard-pressed to say that this is worse than Alien 3, because it's just really boring. The whole, Sigourney Weaver's dead, and it's 200 years after her character's death. It already pissed me off that in Alien 3, it kills off the survivors of aliens 10 minutes in, so they don't matter anymore. The whole film essentially didn't matter. But in this movie, they kill off the main character, so 200 years later, they can revive her. Winona Ryder's cute in this, but she couldn't save this. It was bad. It was just so bad. Let's just move on to something that was actually good, because 2 days later on the 19th, we watched The Rebuild, Inside the Montreal Canadiens, the first and second episode. Actually, lied, I apologize. I said I wasn't going to be talking hockey. However, I am for a minute here. For those who are here for the hockey content and somehow, or the movie content and somehow don't know, I'm a huge Montreal Canadiens fan. We ended up watching this. She's a Leafs fan. I'm a Habs fan. Go figure. We watched first, second episode because these are the ones that had come out. Obviously, it's 2 episodes a week. I think it's the last 2 episodes are coming out next Wednesday, so I'm excited for that. Yeah, the first and second episodes basically just following the team into training camp and the opening night. Basically the opening night. The second episode is the home opener against the Chicago Blackhawks. And, it's a very good inside look. And I'll just say it now. Next week, we watched the third and fourth episode on the 26th. We watched those in the early morning. Those were pretty good as well. Those take a look at after Kirby Dach's injuries and focuses on the game where the Habs dads were in town. I think it was a game in Boston against the Bruins, I believe. And then episode 4 is taking a look at guys like Jaden Struble and I believe Joshua Waugh, I believe, at that point as well. And it's focusing on, I think, the 7-game road trip I think we had in December to January, I believe. So these are very good episodes. The first and second episode especially I was very impressed by. They spend a lot of time, not just with the team, but looking at, like, the financial lists and the guys who set the ticket prices and the people who are selling the tickets and Chantal Maccabee, for example, and the marketing of the team. It focuses on, like, every aspect, stuff that you didn't know you kind of want to know about the Montreal Canadiens. So really, really solid, really, really well done so far. Looking forward to the last 2 episodes, and yeah, here's to hoping that they're very good, which I'm hoping they are. Then, on the 20th, we ended up watching Longlegs. This is a movie with Nicolas Cage and Mika Monroe. This is a movie right here. This is a mostly good film. I thought it was quite good, actually. This is a film that I'm really going to try not to spoil while giving the plot away. So, this movie stars Mika Monroe, who's like an FBI agent, and she ends up getting assigned to this case about a guy named Longlegs, who's murdering people. And she tries to solve it, and a little too close for comfort is what I'll say. Those who've seen the movie are thinking, oh my god, that's a really good way to put it. And those who haven't seen the movie are thinking, what the fuck does he mean? Go watch Longlegs. Nicolas Cage is phenomenal in this. He's one of his best performances. Mika Monroe, for the most part, I thought was very solid. Kieran and Shipka of Sabrina has a cameo in this, and she's very good in the one scene she's in. I'll admit, some of the writing, not great overall. Not great. Some of the pacing can be a little off, especially, like, for me, the last 20 minutes almost ruined the film. I thought it bordered on ruining it, but I still thought it was a good film overall. So if you watch the movie and maybe take the last 20 minutes out and just make up your own ending, you probably got something that's a little better. But Longlegs, for the most part, very good film. Highly recommend it. Very, very, very good psychological thriller. It's a horror film that has very few jump scares, if any. I don't think I remember any jump scares being in this film. It very much relies on the psychological aspect. There are parts of this film where there's a thing in the background, and once you notice it, you're like, oh my god, no. There's shots, even, where I did not like it. But not because, like, oh, that shot's lazy. No. The shots were so well done, and it makes you wonder, oh god, is something going to come out? Who's running around that door? Who's going to come out? And it does a great job at almost tricking you psychologically into thinking something's going to happen, when nothing happens, and oh, nothing's going to happen here, when something does happen in a way. It's a really, really fucky movie. It's a movie that loves to fuck with you. And I think it, for the most part, it does a really good job at doing that. So, Longlegs, good movie. However, on the 23rd, what wasn't a good movie, very unfortunately, was Cuckoo. These are 2 movies that actually came out, I think, days apart on digital, on home media. Cuckoo, unfortunately, was not a good movie. I love Hunter Schafer. I thought she was incredible in Euphoria. Thought she was really, really good in Kinds of Kindness in the one scene she had. And so I was excited to hear, oh my god, she's doing a full movie. Nice. And it's got that dude from Abigail in it, Dan Stevens. Cool. It just wasn't good, unfortunately. Apparently it was going for some sort of absurdist, I think the genre was legitimately, I believe it's a Euro trash horror is what it was referred to when my best friend looked up what type of genre this film was. And it really wasn't that. Like, the film was way too polished. It didn't try anything risky. It didn't go... It tried harder to be kind of avant-garde and very... slice of life horror almost, but it kind of failed at that. I wasn't scared throughout the film. The last act felt much more like an action film than a horror film, and I don't even know if it was really going for a horror feel. It might have been going for more thriller, but the thing at the top here, increasingly twisted. There's twists, but I wouldn't say twisted. Incredibly strange. I mean, yeah, I would say. Deliciously fun, or deviously fun? Not really. I mean, Hunter Schafer, aside from one or two scenes, was good in this. There's a few scenes where I thought she was a little flat, a little dull. And that wasn't because of the writing. I think it was because of her acting. And she even said on the Call Me Daddy podcast, which is the only episode of Call Me Daddy I ever want to watch, she mentioned that this was the first thing she had filmed other than Euphoria. This is the first movie she filmed, but it's only coming out now. So I would assume it's probably because those were some of the first scenes that were filmed. And it's weird, because aside from those one or two scenes, she's really good in the rest of the film, so I don't know what happened there. Maybe it was directing, maybe it was acting, I don't know, but yeah. Hunter Schafer's very good in this. Dan Stevens was forgettable. Jessica Henwick was there. The writing felt very all over the place. It felt like it was trying to combine like 8 different ideas and just, oh, what can we do here? Oh, add this. Oh, and then pile on top of that, we'll do this, and then we'll have this twist in there. It'll be so cool. And just, no, it really wasn't. I mean, full respect to Hunter Schafer for getting a fucking starring role a couple years before she probably could have. I think now would probably be the time to give her a starring role, but she was given this like right after Euphoria, apparently. But yeah, just not a good movie, unfortunately. I thought it was very boring and very dull. Just not a movie that that appealed to me, you know? Maybe people who have seen more Eurotrash horror, maybe they like this. Maybe like, yeah, this is a really good Eurotrash horror. Which if it is, I don't think I want to watch any more Eurotrash horror films. Because they seem really boring. But, yeah, Cuckoo just wasn't for me, unfortunately. I really wanted to like it because of Hunter Schafer, but just not good. So, yeah. And the next up is another movie that I do own on DVD. For some reason, I just pulled up a trailer, or a poster, and that is Bulletproof Monk. So, yeah, Bulletproof Monk. This is a 2003 martial arts comedy film starring Chow Yun-fat and Seann William Scott. It's also got, oh my god, what's your name? Not Alison Pill. Jamie King. Jamie King, there you go. Yeah, this is a film that is about this legendary martial artist who has to protect this scroll, because of course there's a scroll, and this kind of no do-gooder Seann William Scott, who's this guy who pickpockets people, and they have to team up and protect the scroll from a legion of bad guys led by Nazis. So already a batshit insane plot, and it's really funny. I saw this had a lot of negative reviews, a lot of mixed reviews when I looked it up on Letterboxd. I thought it was really funny. If you go into this thinking it's going to be an action comedy, you're going to love it. If you go into this expecting a fully serious martial arts film, you're going to be disappointed. And quite frankly, I think this is martial arts done right. Martial arts, at least from what I've seen, it just isn't a great genre for me personally. It's not a genre that appeals to me. When you combine it with comedy and you like make fun of how absurd the scenarios are, yeah, that's really good. It works really well. I enjoyed this film. And yeah, Bulletproof Monk's one that I enjoyed. The action sequences were really funny. I thought the ending of the movie was good. The last lines are notoriously, quote unquote, the worst line in a Hollywood film, but god damn it, it's hilarious. Yeah, so Bulletproof Monk, that movie exists. Very, very fun. Highly recommend it. I think it's on Prime. I'm looking on the back of the DVD as if it's going to fucking tell me I'm on Prime. But Bulletproof Monk, good film. Recommend it. Next up, we ended up watching, like I said, The Rebuild, episode 3 and 4. We then watched the Mr. McMahon docu-series, all 6 episodes in one day. And I'm conflicted. I'll be honest. I'm a little conflicted. There's a lot of reviews of this. I highly recommend. Good mic work. He said he goes through each episode, explains exactly what they talk about, gives his thoughts, corrects a couple things that were wrong that they got, which Bill Simmons doesn't surprise me. But yeah, this is a movie that, or it's a docuseries about Mr. McMahon. It kind of chronicles his life and WWE's rise at the same time. As a wrestling fan, I knew a lot of what they talked about. There was a couple things like that argument that Shane and Vince had that Paul Heyman recounted, obviously. I don't think anybody heard of that before. And there's a couple things like how Gorilla Monsoon was apparently the heir apparent to Vince Sr. before Vince Jr. took it over. That I didn't know. There's a couple things like that. But for the most part, it was stuff that I knew. It was a lot of stuff that I knew. I'd never seen the footage of Brett and Vince's altercation after Survivor Series 97, which they show. I don't know if they showed that in Wrestling with Shadows, and because I hadn't watched Wrestling with Shadows, I haven't seen it, but that's something I'd never seen before. But a lot of it as a wrestling fan, if you're a wrestling fan and you kind of do some basic research, you'll learn a lot of this. You'll learn about Rita Chatterton, you'll learn about the Ring Boy scandal, you'll learn about the steroid trial, the XFL, you'll learn a lot about Vince being a kind of shitty human being. Ashley Mazzaro, for example. I thought it was good, though. I did think it was a good documentary for people who are maybe more modern wrestling fans who don't look up a lot about Vince McMahon, or just casual people who aren't wrestling fans. It's a very, very good documentary to get you caught up on the basics of WWE and also who Vince McMahon is. It's a very, very good docu-series to get you in on that. But again, as a wrestling fan of 12 years, basically 12 years, but just over 12 years, July 15, 2012. As a wrestling fan for 12 years, it was very disappointing. But then again, Vince at the beginning says, oh, the stories I could tell you, holy shit, I wish I could tell you everything, I'll tell you enough just to keep it interesting. And he kind of kept it interesting, especially fucking talking about Rita Chatterton, holy shit. So yeah, I do recommend this for most wrestling fans. It's not that good. It's not that good in terms of giving you knowledge you already know if you're a hardcore fan. But it is still good because it does give you a lot of insight. Stone Cold's a CTE denier, unfortunately. Vince, not a good human being. We've known this, but holy shit. Yeah. So yeah, Mr. McMahon, it was a good docuseries. Don't know what I'd say about it, though, other than that. So yeah, go check out Good Mike Works' video on it. Highly recommend it. Very good review and recap of the series overall. It's about an hour and a half. It's really, really well done. So yeah, highly recommend it. And so now, the last two movies that we watched, which were both on the 30th, I have on DVD. I don't know why I pulled up posters, but yeah, I'm going to give these very quick mentions just because there's not a lot to talk about, honestly. It's a really, really fun pair of comedy films, and I feel like everybody knows how influential these are to the parody genre. First one we watched was Airplane. Very, very fun. Parody is a movie, I believe Airport is the film. And, yeah, it stars Julie Haggerty and Robert Hayes. And, yeah, basically, he's a war vet who can't fly a plane. Pilots go down. His girlfriend, Julie Haggerty, is on the plane. And you put two and two together. Leslie Nielsen's in this. He's the funniest part of this film. It's still a decent movie. It's not phenomenal. It's not as hilarious as I thought it would be. It was still very funny, though. It was still very funny. Good parody film. This is what a parody film should be. You're parodying mostly one film while, making jokes about the plot and also maybe a couple other references, There's the sick kid that they're trying to transport, which is the whole goddamn reason for the flight. What happens with her is really, really funny. Airplane, just a really funny parody film. Everybody's seen it, I feel like, and everybody knows it. And, just wanted to say good luck. We're counting on you. And then the second movie we watched is, you can kind of see it already. The Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad. This was really funny. This is a parody of kind of your basic action films. It's, I believe, a sequel, actually, to the series Police Squad, which got canceled. Get this. For being too funny. No bullshit. That is legit the reason Police Squad got fired. Not because of low viewership. Not because, it's not that good of a series. No. It was canceled for being too goddamn funny. And the DVD is kind of coming out of the slipcase. But yeah, admittedly, I kind of hate that it's in this I Love the 80s case. And I can't take it out either because it's in this. But, yeah, Naked Gun. It's really funny. It's a parody of basic action films. Leslie Nielsen's hilarious in this one. And see, I think that's what makes Leslie Nielsen the king of parody. or the king of parody in terms of acting. Of course, Mel Brooks is the king of parody, king of comedy, really. That's a entirely different film, which I think I own. Yes, I do, actually. I gotta watch that one. But Leslie Nielsen is the king of parody acting, because he takes the material so seriously while being comedic. You know, he's not like an asshole like Steven Seagal, where he'll come in and you can't make fun of him or anything. Leslie Nielsen goes along with it. He'll treat it seriously, which is what makes it funny, you know? Again, this is a basic parody of action films, you know? There's O.J. Simpson, who's a guy who gets in a coma, and Leslie Nielsen tries to figure out what happened to him, basically, who attempted to murder him, and it's really funny. The Queen is also coming by, because of course the Queen's coming by. Yeah, Priscilla Presley's in this, and she's not god-awful, surprisingly. She definitely didn't take after her husband. I believe she's the husband of Elvis. Definitely didn't take after him in terms of not being able to act. But Naked Gun, it's good. It's a fun movie. It's a really funny parody. Definitely recommend it. And yeah, so excluding the brief break I had to take for the phone call, about an hour later, and yeah, those are all the films that I watched this month. Yeah, I believe that's a count of roughly 25, I believe. So we are at, I believe it would be 92 of 365, which surprisingly keeps us above the standard 30 per day, which I would need. And yeah, so we're above that, and hell yeah, so there's that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll come back here again early November to recap October's films, which again, expect it to be a lot of horror films, if not all horror films, because we've been on that kick the last few months, a lot of horror films, and yeah, so we're going to watch a lot for October. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Mr. Rice. Please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share, which includes, but it's not limited to YouTube, X, Instagram, Tumblr, and everything else. My name is Mr. Rice. Subscribe to join the HD Club, the Sub Hub. If you're a member of the Mod Squad, thank you for our comments and streams and interviews. It's much greatly appreciated. Thank you guys so much for watching. Links in the description. Check them out. Thank you guys again so much for watching. My name is Mr. Rice again, and I am out. Love you guys. See you guys. Bye, guys. Love you guys. See you guys. Bye, guys. Bye.